Hey, I'm Chanté and welcome back to the channel. If you have been following me, you know that we are continuing our journey to healing. Today, my background is a little different, but I'm hoping that we can still talk about some of the same principles. And if you are enjoying this series, if you're enjoying these ideas of how to heal, how to move forward, and how to be the best that God is calling you to be, I ask that you like and subscribe and tell someone else that you know. So for today, I want to dive into a topic that I have had to live through. And it's something that people are always talking about, always wondering about, always processing through. And today we're going to dive into God's timing. That is a mouthful all within itself. But there's usually two camps when it comes to God's timing. There's typically this camp of people who know that they want something, they desire something, they're hoping for something from the Lord, and He has not answered yet. We're going to talk a little bit about that area because I know a lot of you are going through that. And then there's another group of you who feel like God is pushing you into something, into a new season, a new job, just something new and exciting, but scary. And you feel like, Lord, it is not the right time. You feel like you're underprepared. You feel like you don't know what you're going to do. You are just trying to figure out what is going on. So I'm hoping that we can process and talk through those two subjects on today. For the first group of you, maybe there have been situations, seasons, ideas, thoughts, things that you have really wanted to happen. Some of you have been praying for years, hoping that the Lord would answer, wondering why it hasn't happened yet, feeling like you're prepared, feeling like you know what it is that you want, feeling like you're hopeful, but yet not seeing the fruit of those promises. And why do those things happen to us, right? It's so frustrating. It gets a little bit overwhelming. Some of us feel a little defeated. But one of the things God does while He's waiting, and while you're waiting, is that He helps you to build your character because He wants you to have what it takes to sustain that thing you're praying for. And none of us like waiting. I remember standing in the line at the grocery store, seeing the frustration on people's faces as they were putting all their groceries to be checked out, and seeing that the cashier was taking seemingly too long with the guest in front of them. I see the impatience of people all the time, right? We are in a society where everything seems to be moving very quickly, where if you want to binge watch a series on television, you can easily do that. When you don't feel like preparing a full meal, you can find one and microwave it. Everything is moving so quickly. But how many of us know that just because it can happen fast doesn't mean that it is of quality, doesn't mean that it's the best thing for you, doesn't mean that that is what God's best is. And no one wants to hear this message. Trust me. It's even harder living through it. On my journey, there have been times when I have literally waited for years for a breakthrough, tried to figure it out on my own, tried to piece things together, and it didn't work out. And maybe you have not really wanted to surrender control to that thing. You haven't really wanted to give it to God fully because you feel like you have a plan, you have a way of maybe doing this or that or putting things together, and you could see the outcome. You could see that it's so tangible, it's so close. You just have to do this, or you have to get yourself right, or you have to have the new job, or you have to have this other thing in place, and then it's going to happen for you. But I came to tell you, if whatever that thing you've been praying about, hoping for, whatever that promise is that God made you, you can't manipulate the outcome. You can't make it come faster by doing. And yes, while there are some things that God is calling us to that we have to consider, right? Being obedient. We have to consider the things He taught us, the things He told us to get to it. There's going to be a component of that thing that requires God and God alone. And there's nothing you can do to change it. But God is so sovereign that whenever He does give you the time to wait, it's because he has a divine plan. And it's because he's building you up. He's building your character. He's strengthening you. He's helping change the mindset that potentially could damage the thing that you're asking for. Another reason that God takes his time is because someone else is attached to that blessing. I hate to tell you, but sometimes it's not you that's holding things up. It may be that person that is involved in the blessing that you're asking for. It could be that family member, that coworker, that future boss, that divine connection that is holding up the process. God likes to do a complete work. There are so many times in our lives where we're hoping that things will change quickly, that we're hoping that people will just line up and do what they're supposed to do. But how many of us know that people take so long to change? It can be very frustrating. And if you're listening in, I know you have had those moments where you're like, why don't they just get it? Why can't they just fix it? So they are holding up the process, and that's okay, because they also have to be weaved into the complex plan. You know, so many of us think that we ask a thing of God and he just gives it to us right then and there. But you know, there is so much work happening in the background. And when you feel like he's not moving, particularly if you're in this season now and you're praying for something to happen, and maybe you've been praying for a long time and you feel like there's nothing happening, trust me, God is working in the background. He's clearing a path. He's making a way. He is changing people's mindsets. He's orchestrating the right people to be at the right place at the right time for your blessing. And he is going to do it in a complete way. He's not just going to bless you. He wants to bless your family. He wants to bless the people close to you. He wants to bless the people you're impacting, the people you don't even know yet. So he has to make sure that all of those things come together. So some of the holdup is somebody else, but thank God that he is so divine, that he is so meticulous, right? That he doesn't leave it up to chance when it comes to your life. He wants things to line up in a way that will give you favor, in a way that will bless you, in a way that will be even bigger than the thing that you're asking for. And the last reason that you may be feeling like this blessing is taking a long time, which is what some of us don't really want to hear, but it's important to think about, is that maybe the thing you are asking for is not what God's will is for your life. And I don't want to sound pessimistic or negative, but there are going to be some things that we're praying for that we don't receive, that we're hoping for that God doesn't give it to us. And most of us, in retrospect, we're like, whew, thank you, Lord. You did not give me that thing I was asking for, because I could see how that would have ruined my life, how that would have taken me out, how that would have set me back. But it's hard when you've held on for a long time. And it's not saying that what you're asking for is not in God's will. Maybe what you're asking for is, but for some of you, it may not be. And this is going to take you praying, processing, asking God, seeking his word, understanding him, hearing him more clearly, to really figure out what are the desires of his heart for you. You know, we talked about in previous episodes how a lot of people are wanting God to give them the desires of their heart. But he gives those desires when your heart actually aligns with his heart. God is a God of protection. As a father, he wants to make sure that you're safe. So sometimes him not giving you things is not because he's mean. It's not because he's angry with you. It's not because you've done something wrong. It's because he's wanting to protect you. And for those who are parents, you understand that even when your child asks for things, and even when they feel like this is going to change their life, this is going to be important to them, and they are longing for it, you know that that is not the best option for them. And a good parent would not give it to them, but would gently explain to them an alternative that is better. So be mindful in the season of waiting patiently. Where does your heart not align with what God has for you? Where are your desires not aligning with His? And even for those who are aligning, where's your faith? Where's your belief that He can do it if that is the thing He's calling you to do? How do you keep going and walking forward and moving forward when what you've been praying for hasn't happened yet? You have to strengthen your faith. You have to get back in understanding the Father, understanding His promises, understanding that He does want the best for you, even when it doesn't look like it, even when everyone around you says it doesn't make sense. You have to know Him for yourself. You have to seek Him. You have to get understanding for yourself. Because a good friend, right? You trust them. You know they want the best for you. And when they say they're going to do something, you know that they will. Now let's dive into the other group of people. And I feel like I've been kind of navigating this season, feeling like God is just throwing you into something new and different, and you're not exactly sure what to do because it is not what you expected.